Welcome to my tiny head. I'm finishing up params. We've gone through every single node. The only one I'm leaving off is this goat one that I imported. I'm having trouble with goat, and I think it's because it's an old optimization tool. We're going to go into fitness landscape and Galapagos, and I'm going to show you one online, a video that you might want to look at. There's a couple online that are really good, about 36-minute videos. Anyway, let's jump into it. Galapagos is an evolutionary solver which will make geometries match what you probably configure it yourself, but do it a lot quicker and in many, many ways. How it operates is it's its own unit, so it's basically a solver that needs inputs. You cannot input inputs to it. You can import back to it, and that takes a little bit of time, so when you right-click on it, you can select all sliders, and then all sliders connect to it. Another way is to select edit, a few sliders, go in, right click, and you would be able to select sliders that are specific to that. The one tool that they made available in time was the gene pool, which is pretty cool. And the way it connects to it is a very strange technique and kind of position it wherever you want. It also needs a fitness solver. So there's a fitness landscape solver that comes with it that you can use, but you'll see the basic setup for it. Go to online, take a look at Nessus. There's a nice link to one of them. There's a whole bunch of examples on there, and it begins with a very simple tutorial of building. And I'll jump in here, and I don't want to take credit for this because I didn't invent it, but we'll go into a top item, and you'll see how easy this actually is. We have to zoom in real close. He basically scripted a. We'll put on preview here. He scripted a curve. And had a little bit of trouble with inputting, numbers. Points don't go in, so you have to put your sliders into your X, Y. But he's making a point, and he's making a curve that he controls the curve in a very interesting way, which I may use in the future, which I kind of like. He uses that curve to be a number slider, and then he optimizes and finds the point on the curve that's closest to that point. You can see how it's jumping around and making decisions as a tool in Grasshopper and saying, okay, well, how do I set this up that I actually get a and I missed it here. So sometimes with these sliders, if you don't connect on it, you don't get over. But you can see that the line keeps jumping to be the closest point on curve. And so it's a solver for that. And that's exactly what happens. And you do an input over here in a section. You do a generation, which is construct point, construct a curve. And then you do an analysis tool, which is basically curve closest point. What's nice is as you connect it, you connect the fitness to the final values, which is a little difficult to see here. And then you have to bring your genome up back to the number sliders that it has reference on. When you double click on it, you go in, you get a really wonderful tool here, which you will set to maximize or minimize. We definitely want to go to minimize. You go over to the solver and you start solving it. And basically the script will run enough times to say, yada, 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 here's all your solutions that I'm generating. You stop it or you wait till the end, and then you're able to go in and find other points by reinstating and see that point on different levels. It will give you the closest point and get closer, 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 but you may want to choose an option that's not that. There's some really cool stuff here, and you can actually undulate and grab different forms here, and you can grab a whole bunch at a time to kind of analyze what you want to do. It'll actually grab the last one it picked. It's a cool tool, and then this one will show you display all genomes in the Rhino viewport, which will go a little slower than this one. That's what he covers in it. It makes a little sense to me. I'm not sure why I would use the optimization. I'll figure it out in time. Watch a few more examples online. It's kind of cool. It solves for you, and it's getting into a bit of machine learning in a sense of it's doing it for you. I guess I can call it that. I'm just going to hit cancel. The last script he does, which is really at the limits of what I can do, is he's generating nodes, and he ends up and makes a very cool node. If I take this off, there's no point looking at it. Actually, I could just make it large. This is more of a text-based program, which I like. He goes in and he builds the same type of thing. He basically wants to make this think about building the characters evolve, and he uses the Unicode, which is a number system for letters, and then he generates a Unicode to string Python script, which I don't have access to, and then I think he does something else with the Unicode to string. And basically, when he runs that solver and connects over something like Galapagos into this solver, the fitness solver, into here, or I think it's down into this one. I'll have to take a look. And the genome will go back over to, I think, that data. Has to be a number slider. I'm not sure how he ends up. Oh, it has to connect over to this. and you can do varied approaches to it. You'll get all these different words that pop up, and slowly it will get closer and closer as you run that script. If you do a minimized number, it will slowly, and of course, it's not going to run now because I don't have it set up, but it would slowly generate and slide through all the sliders, trying to make that word as best it can. Of course, I don't have the rest of the function written, so it's not really going to do that. And I put it in yellow because it's just not resolved. And you can see the function. I'm going to have to stop it if I can, or I probably crash my program to end it. So enough said with a short little video. I'm done with params. I'm feeling pretty good about that. I've gone through every single item that I can, and I'm going to go into maths. And on that note, with the crash program, because I didn't write the script and I sent a solver into operation, what a way to end it.